Well, I wanted to, while we're kind of getting started here, making the calls around this week, I wanted to brag on some people that were doing some things, working on their business. Everett, someone, or lose Everett? So Everett, he finally got in touch with Emily Miller, who, if you guys remember, Emily was the one that's kind of the guru, social media girl for USA Mortgage. And so Everett got this thing set up. I don't know, Everett, did you actually go meet with her, or was this by phone?
No, just on the phone. Yeah, it was just on the phone.
Okay. But you got some rotating posts going on your social media. And then I think you said you were co-partnering with Caitlin on a couple of mailings that are going out. So, and on top of that, you got 2 new listings. So
wow,
he's working on his business and his business, which is great. But I was curious, Everett, what was that like with Emily? Was it pretty easy getting started talking to her? Because I know this is kind of the first go in with her.
Well, she's very user friendly. I mean, she's very approachable. She's very knowledgeable, and she can definitely direct you to the right people who have more expertise in, for example, videos, if necessary. But I guess she's sort of like the point person for whatever social media that you might want to engage in terms of marketing with USA Mortgage. And I had already been partnering with another USA Mortgage loan officer, and I just switched my account to Caitlin because she was a little bit more receptive to me. First of all, I see her all the time, and she calls me back right away. And she was able to design the postcard exactly the way I wanted, very quickly, and get it going. And so she's very supportive as far as anything that anyone might need as far as a co-partner is concerned. She's very, very receptive and responsive, which I really liked. So Emily was instrumental in terms of me making that connection, but Caitlin is very knowledgeable and receptive to doing whatever you want to do as far as supporting agents in doing whatever advertising and marketing that they might need. It's just a matter of you choosing whatever partner you want to work with. But seemingly Caitlin's been very, very, very good at that. And Emily is kind of like the go-to person for USA Mortgage.
Yeah, social media stuff. Well, I'm excited about it because we, it was one of the things we talked about. We whiteboarded and you jumped into it, got it going, and your business is going too. So that's what you want. You want to create that momentum on everything so that it kind of just turns as you're going. I know. Joe,
I don't want to be behind the 8 ball with Jose anymore.
No, of course not. Where is Jose anyway?
he's scared. He has to step out.
He knew you were going to come at him, Everett. Well, Julia is not on, but if you guys are watching Julia on her post, I think she does a really good job of previewing her open houses. I know, Sean, you do that, and there's others that do that. I just think it's a good idea. And whenever you guys do that, Sean, whenever you do it, whenever Julia does it, it's interesting. And now Julia did something a little bit different this time. She actually just previewed that listing or the open house just from her desk, kind of just talking through, the open house and where it was and how many baths and how many, not really what she's done in the past where she actually walks through the house, but she does that too. My point is I think they're both good. Mm-hmm. I think previewing like that before you ever step inside the house kind of builds up some curiosity, kind of a teaser,
Wasn't that another feature that USA that they could do those?
Yeah.
From your,
to do it
behind you, right?
Yeah. Green screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that what you're thinking, right? Yep. Green screen. Yeah. Yeah. No, the green screen thing, if you guys have ever played around with the green screen thing, we did that. If you ever go back and look at that video that Jose's doing, it looks like he's reading a magazine and he looks like he's behind or in front of the fireplace. That's all green screen and it looks so real. I mean, it looks like Jose is literally in that living room with the fireplace. And it's nothing but green screen.
So really, whatever you dream up, they can do.
They can do. My only thing was, I just wanted to remind everybody, that's a technique that doesn't take a lot. But previewing like that, giving a teaser out there at open house and then walking through the open house like you see Sean and others do, that's a good thing to do, because it's doesn't cost anything, gets it out there. Joe, man, you're staying consistent with what you're doing with the Joe's Home Acts, and I think you're improving my relationship with my wife. I really do. I think I'm not telling her I'm not telling her where I'm getting this handy information from. I'm just saying, you know what? I can do that. I can do that. I could actually fix that door if you want me to. Is it a little lopsided? Yeah, I can fix that.
If I can help,
Joe,
that's good.
Joe, you've got that going on, and I thought it was a fun conversation that you had with me earlier about, I don't want to mess with these people. I got other things planned this Saturday. I've been through this before with all these people and showing and doing with this group, and then what happened?
I showed the property and we got it. We got an offer and got it.
Okay,
And that happened like within like 3 or 4 hours.
Great.
Yeah.
It's just so funny, you know, because you can prejudge and prejudge and prejudge, because this is, you know, everybody's had a client where they're just driving around looking at stuff forever. And then Joe's on a Saturday is just, you know, there it is. There it is. So good job staying consistent, Joe, on that. Let's see. Sarah Umstead, I wanted her on here because do you guys remember back a few weeks ago, we were talking about one of the Jared James things where you pick out some restaurants, you create a talk to Bob the deli guy or the Italian guy or whatever restaurant, and then you have them give you a $50 to $100 gift certificate. You post that, you have them like, share, and comment, and that puts their name in the hat. Well, Sarah's doing all that. So maybe at this next deal here, we can talk about that, because I think that whole share, like, and comment thing, throwing those names into a hat and letting that grow. The whole idea is that you kind of go viral off of the post, because you're getting people in competition. So I'm going to be real interested to see how that goes, because she's in the midst of doing that. And she's doing that with Homestead Financial. Homestead Financial is really excited to do it because they haven't done it before. That's the other thing I was going to bring up, guys. Some of these things, if you have an interesting idea, you know, I'm looking at Neil over there. Neil, you're the restaurant guy. Any interesting idea you have, these people like to do things different because it gives them the ability, when they're trying to show off their stuff, to give them a bigger library. So if they can show that they're doing something creative, either like with what Sarah's doing or what you could do, Neil, with how you do your post and talk about food and whatever, you make it live. I think they're very anxious and willing to do those type of things, because it also helps them promote what they're trying to do with other agents. So just remember that when you got an idea, shoot it out at them. And like with Sarah, she found Greg that was more than willing to want to do that. So just Jamie Gent, who's in Florida, she's doing something kind of interesting. She's using the whole QR code deal with recipes and an offer for a CMA or a real estate review as a door hanger. I like that idea. I'd like to see it. Maybe when she gets back from Florida, we'll see how it goes. So, but that's something, again, something we've talked about. I like to see people then stepping into it, taking a step with that, because that's how we get results. Sean and Kay, I like what you guys are doing with your, you know, with Business Your Way with Jose. You guys have continued to stay on with how many contacts are you guys doing, or 5? So once a day. Yeah, I like that. That's something that you guys started out, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago? And then you're hardcore accountability coaches to each other.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Only because I've been reading up on this, and there's a bit of contestants with Instagram. So just so you guys know, and I'm sure you guys have already seen it, Instagram is favoring more towards videos now, kind of like TikTok versus the just the pictures and all that.
I was just on this morning, by the way, on the Today Show.
Oh, yeah, so I was reading it yesterday. It was a huge headline, actually, believe it or not. So Instagram really, so in order to get proper engagement with Instagram, I will tell you now, make sure your videos. Pictures are gonna get just faded out. So if you're gonna put anything on Instagram, make sure they're video placed, right? That you're doing a video on whatever you're trying to represent or show. Pictures or anything like that or informational facts are just gonna go, you're not gonna get the same analytical engagement or the statistics that you need to really get it up there. So, and they're doing it purposely, guys. They want to compete with TikTok. So just so you know, why we've always said months ago when TikTok was hitting, we told you guys, get your guys' TikTok account, start getting used to that because that's the future right now of social media. And when you have a big, huge platform such as Instagram trying to follow suit, that should tell you guys something as business owners, right? So, and I can more than happy find the research and show you guys where that document or where I read it. But heads up, just get used to start putting more and more videos now. It's really forcing you guys to do videos versus, well, okay, I'll try TikTok or Instagram, or I'll try social media, but I'm just gonna put pictures. This is just ever changing. We always told you guys stay up on technology. Videos is where it's at, guys.
And the reason why, I mean, what I saw this morning is that Instagram knows that they're getting more out of what they're wanting out of TikTok. And so Instagram with reels, stories, all those things are superseding everything. Because remember, Instagram was really about pictures.
Yeah.
And they're just basically changing their business to try to not only compete, but put TikTok down, because they're taking those younger people away from them. So it's a move. Facebook not so much as doing, but Instagram is really making a play for TikTok. And it's all about, and the thing about the video thing, guys, all of you are so capable of like taking a market, market report and just turning the computer around and talking it through as a video thing. Very similar to what you saw Julia do this week with her review of her open house. It's just more interesting. It just makes, here's the one thing you think about the why always. Why would I do that? Why would I do video over a picture? Number one, the biggest reason is that if you're gonna be their agent, they're gonna want to like you, trust you, know you. Which way is better? A picture that says, I'm great, I will just listen to this, or they see, like, and feel your personality. No matter what, the video is always going to win that, just because you are going to be more interesting in video than you are picture. And eventually, if that's where you're trying to get to with your business, for people to connect with you, they're going to feel like they can connect with you better if they've seen you on video. Just the way it is. I mean, my God, why do people think that they know people on TV? You see the person on TV every day and you think, oh my God, I know him.
Oh my God, my wife and my mother-in-law are horrible.
Yeah.
They talk about these soap operas and
Yeah.
the TV, these
Mexican,
Mexican celebrities, and they're like talking to them like they know them. I'm like, you guys don't even know these people, man. And they're all but so-and-so's getting married. And
Yeah.
I wonder what, and I'm like, really? That's what you're thinking? But to Brent's point though, another little small testimonial for fun. We did this for fun. When Kate was on vacation, we sent her a text. Now, mind you, there was a technical glitch, but we showed her to her. But did you not get the real feeling of what we were trying to express versus video versus a picture?
Exactly. No, it was awesome.
She saw it, she's like, oh, that was so awesome. But the little things like that, do that with your clients.
Yeah. Funny and good. Yeah.
Charming.
Charming.
And sad because I didn't respond. I mean, I felt so.
I was a little heartbroken. She did not respond, but we figured it was a technical
That's
issue.
the first thing I asked her.
I know,
when I saw her.
I had no idea.
You thought she was kidnapped.
We spent a lot of time on that. Anyway, I just want to take a little bit of time to brag on you guys for taking a step out there and doing some things, working on your business. So one of the things I wanted to go back into today is we talk kind of casually about scoreboarding. You know, that's just something we say, hey, need a scoreboard, turn it on. But I don't know if we do a really good job of what are we looking at on that scoreboard and why are we even using a scoreboard? So when you look at, because would everybody agree that it's important to track what we're doing? I mean, is that, we don't have to argue about that. That's just a foregone conclusion. It's always good to know where you are on the field so you can figure out what play to call. So what are we trying to put on that scoreboard to evaluate? What are you guys thinking? What do I need to look at to feel like I know what is going on? There's no right or wrong answers. I'm just curious what your all's thoughts are on that.
Maybe what marketing is working right and what isn't.
Marketing, absolutely. And what do you want? And Joe, going into that a little bit further, what are you looking for in marketing?
So who looked at your videos? Where did people get your name from?
Yeah.
If they were referred to you, how did they find you? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, marketing, you know, are people landing back? You know, are the analytics working? More people are hitting my website. You can look at those things, but marketing is such a big piece of working on our business. So,
Okay, I can't figure out how to turn my camera on.
We took care of it.
what else, guys? What else are we looking at? Marketing's a big one. Joe gets a big star for that. That's a big one. Got to track that. Got to figure out, you know, the other reason why you want to track that is what's your return on investment? What are you spending your dollars for? Am I getting something from this, or do I love this as an idea, but it just doesn't work? You know, then you've got to be honest with yourself on that.
The important question to Brent's statement right now is, do you ever ask new leads when they come to you, how did you hear about me? Right? And wouldn't it be cool to say, oh, you know what? I saw your ad on social media, and you say, oh, which one or what? You should have an identifier on your marketing, everything that goes out, so you can reference that when someone calls or contacts you from those said postings, right? Or ads or campaigns. Keep that in mind. Just don't throw an ad out there just because you got to get an ad out there or a post. Make sure you add something unique so that you can refer to it in the event someone does contact you on that lead. So then, as a business owner, you're like, okay, this is actually working. This is not working, right? A lot of people use little promo codes, guys. You guys can use promo codes. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, you can say promo code, you know, real estate, or promo code, I'm your realtor, promo code, whatever, you know. But get creative on your marketing tactics so you can keep a good eye on your return on investment, just like Brent just stated. It's a quick, easy, simple adjustment that you can make so that you can take control of exactly what's coming in, how it's coming in, and you can take note of it. For your spreadsheet lovers like Neil, that's an easy fix, you know?
And the other thing you want to think about too, because I probably sound like a broken record to you guys when you're talking about sending something out like a postcard or a poster. Make sure that you've got something interesting in there that's something they need or want that's a call to action. You know, I always think the easy one is to do a real estate review, tell them where they're at in the market. It could be something else, but always make sure that you're doing that, because that also helps you track. You know, if you're not offering anything out there as a call to action, it's a much harder play to track because you're not even pushing anybody to do anything. And really don't ever do that anyway. Always when you're pushing something out there, have something that you're trying to get back as a call to action. Does that make sense? That's just something that you should do. Okay, let's talk. So we've got, so we talked about marketing. What else, guys, are we looking at on what am I interested in my business? Come on, guys.
I just had one little comment to make about the statistics in terms of feedback that you get on social media. I was kind of new to doing some videos, and Remax has a way of putting together a video on their website. And when I posted it on my Facebook business page and Instagram, which is what Emily recommended, there's a window that you can click to determine who commented on it, I think, or liked it. And you can see the names of each person that commented on a video. And that's a good way to get some feedback in terms of how effective your video is. I wasn't even sure that was possible, but it especially works on a video. You can see exactly everybody that comments, if they just like it, if they just respond at all. And I had a list of 10 people, including Lynn Buckmiller, I think, and yourself, who responded along with a lot of other people. And I was like shocked. So you get an immediate response in terms of who responds to what you're doing.
You'll get that too, Ever, when you do an Instagram story. You get people don't have to like it. It's the people who viewed it. They can also like it. They can also make comments, but it'll show who just saw it. It'll also show if you have multiple ones, how far they go. You know, did they walk 100% of it all the way through, or did they, start here and it kind of fell down? So all those are good. I mean, those type of things, tracking wise, those are gold nuggets of leads in there too.
I got one other question. There's this company called RoomView, ROOMVU, that I got in solicitation on Facebook that actually puts together videos for you. Now there's a subscription for this, but they give you a new, a month free, but it's about $24 a month, and they put together videos, and you put your name and your picture in it, and it automatically creates videos for you every month.
Yeah, it's true. What'd you say, Lynn?
Lenders do it for free. Our lenders, and our partners.
Good. I like that price.
Okay, guys, we're moving down the list here. So we got marketing. What else are we looking at?
Tracking sales.
Yes. Huge. Okay, so let's get into that, because I think that's obviously, if we're not tracking sales, we might be asleep at the wheel. That sounded like Jeff Foxworthy.
It did.
You might be a redneck. Yeah.
I like it.
You might be asleep at the wheel. Okay, so what are we looking at when we're doing that? Because that's deep, going in and tracking your sales. What are we looking at when we're tracking our sales? Because there's conversion stuff in there too, right? Okay. Like a conversion of like, how many buyers do I convert to me being their real estate agent, the clients? There's a conversion rate of how many appointments do I go on, or listings do I get? That's a conversion rate. Only reason I'm bringing that up, that's a number you want to look at before you're looking at this number, because you're going to eventually get it down, and you're going to look at your number of transactions and your GCI, right? And you want to compare that to, maybe this month last year or this time last year, whatever that is. But I think we get away from, and we should probably put more effort into looking at our conversion rates before we ever get them as clients. How good are we at taking that buyer consult and making them our client? How good are we at going to that listing presentation and converting them into our client? We need to know that, because, it might be that you're really good at it to a certain point, and then something drops off. But, like if you're 60% good at, listings, but you're getting the appointments, that's huge. Because if you're really good at getting the appointment, then all you got to do is improve your presentation a little bit and close. You might be, let's give an example here. You might be 80% good at getting the appointment, but only 60% good about getting the deal. So what that means is I've got this down really good. I can get the appointment. I just got to close the deal. So that's why you want to track those conversion rates. Now, if you're saying, Brent, I haven't done that, it's never too late. You can go back into your calendar and look at places and times you were and see was that a win or did I not get that? And create your own tracking. But I will tell you, I think it's worth it because in the end, where Kay is talking about where you are on sales, how you get there is a big deal. Because there's good and bad things that can be in both things. Really good at setting the appointment, not as good at closing. How can you close the gap? And that's when these type of meetings can get good because we can really get down in the nitty and gritty and talk about that. What's some other things? So that's a big one, okay? And conversion's a big one. I'm not the one big one. That's not mine. Somebody's going nuts. All right. Okay, so what else we got? What else you guys tracking? Sean, what are you tracking over there? I know you're a tracker. What are you tracking?
I mean, I have a spreadsheet of all my sales for the year and what, where I'm at as far as commissions and things like that.
Yeah.
I need to start tracking meetings and actual clients, but what's weird is most of my clients who contact me, they only contact me and I'm then their realtor. I've noticed ever since that first listing call I had to go on, I haven't had to make a big presentation to sell myself, which is an awesome thing, but
Yeah.
You did a good job the first time.
That's what you call organic leads, my friend.
Yeah.
That's the best part. They're coming to you.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing, Sean, and we were talking to Adam Brent about this last week. You actually have sold yourself. You
Yeah.
sold yourself before the meeting. That's when you know you're really on point. You are actually selling yourself before they contact you because they wouldn't contact you unless they wanted to do business with you. So
Right.
your presentation is your authentic self. And when they're thinking that they want to do something, you're enough in their world that they're thinking, if I need a real estate agent, I'm calling Sean.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do the presentation part of it because they already trust you. That's a big win. I'm glad you brought that up because that, like Jose said, that's organic. And here's the other thing, Sean, that you did right off the bat that most new agents don't do. You went after listings.
Mhm.
And, we talked early on, what's the difference between being a buyer's agent or a listing agent? Well, the only difference is the listing agent controls the world and the buyer agent has to work quite a bit.
They'll bid and they will come.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. You worked really, your craft at being in listings, and that's continued to be where you've been able to play in that arena. And that's really was a plan of yours. And I think that was great. Okay, what else we got? So we've said marketing. We've said that we're tracking our commissions. We're tracking our sales and I threw in conversion rates. Anything else?
About what we do every day.
Yeah. Tracking your plan. Tracking your plan. I wanted to pull some, I don't know if I can do this. I'm gonna see if I can. I was looking before I got on here with the Zoom, and there was an old thing we did back in May that
On the desktop.
it's on the desktop. So can I go to that or not?
On the files maybe?
Right here. I can't get to it. I won't do it. If Kristen comes back in here, I might be able to do it. It's got 7 things to do if you think you don't know what you're supposed to do in a given day. So for those who might get distracted, it gives you do this, and this, and this, and you'll be in the right path. If I can't get it while we're talking here, I'll send it to you guys, because I just happened on it. It was just one of those slides that we put together back in May.
What's under the
That's
more?
good.
The more, see on the bottom there where you're at chat. To let you.
That's just recorded. Okay, we don't have to go to that. Okay, so that is, okay, so let's talk about this. That's what we're doing. with our scoreboard, right? So once we do that, what do we get from the scoreboard? What does that do for us as agents? Mentally. Once you're tracking, when you're going, you know what your numbers are, you're seeing, okay, this marketing works, and then what does that do for you?
Positive reinforcement.
Yeah, both Kay and Everett said the same thing. Gets you going. It gets you going. And I came across this, somebody talking about how good they felt about their scoreboard and following. It gives you greater clarity of purpose, greater consistency, greater predictability, and increased productivity. So those are all good things. So if you ever wonder, why would I get a scoreboard? That's a good reason why. Greater clarity of purpose, greater consistency, greater predictability, increased productivity. And really what we're talking about is when you create a scoreboard, you're actually creating your system. Going back to what Jose says, business your way, whatever that is, that becomes your scoreboard, and that's what you're tracking, and that's how you're finding out how you need to grow and if you're going the right way. Okay, I want to talk about home warranties. And Neil, you had a good, I wanted you to share that story you were sharing with me. It was a Monday or Tuesday about a home warranty situation. You remember that? You know, I talking about that?
Yeah. It's actually a sad story because I wish I had offered or pushed a home warranty with a couple that bought a house earlier this year through me. And they ended up getting a lemon, and there was all kinds of problems because they had waived the inspection. And then you guys were talking about it, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. And that would have been the perfect solution. After the deal closed, I went ahead and contacted the other agent. I had already contacted her, let her know that the buyers were having a lot of issues with the house. There was a couple iffy things on the seller's disclosure that, you know, might have gone either way. But I just thought, why not ask them if they'll pay for a home warranty? They didn't. But the lesson I learned out of that was if you're going to waive those inspections, you better try to get a home warranty for the buyer one way or another.
Okay, well, that's the type of thing that I think we all need to think about, is that why is this market almost predestined for us to need to talk about home warranty? Why is this market the market where home warranty rises to the top?
Because everybody's taking away every advantage.
Everybody's, all these people that have bought as is and took that out of the contract, they're all gonna be.
Overpriced.
Yeah, so Kay and Diana, Mary are all saying the same thing, that you're basically stripping away. You're stripping away the protection.
Insurance card.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So home warranty, as you as an agent, buffers you as the good guy to your people. Because if something does go awry, which can happen, well, David Spector says 61% of the time, so something might happen. Who are they going to look at, good or bad? If they have a home warranty, they're going to say, wow, Kay, thank you so much. We didn't think we'd be
Best
that.
advice I ever got.
Yeah, best $500-600 I've ever spent. If we don't promote it, then we become part of the bad scenario. Even though we weren't even involved. You know, they didn't want the home inspection. They didn't want this. They wanted to waive everything. But somehow you get lumped into, they didn't protect me either. They knew better. So there's a real reason, you know, Lynn, you had some language the other day. If I'm the customer and you're at the point where you're going to talk about home warranty, how are you going to present that?
So we can't, probably the seller's not gonna pay for it, but I would like to talk to you in depth about what's the advantages of you having it. Let's say you move in and 2 weeks later, the air conditioner quits working. What kind of expense, Brent, would you have
That'd
going
be
into
a
that?
big expense that I wouldn't be expecting.
Right. And you just, we're going over asking price. They've got all these things that's already building up that are starting to scare them right now. So and a lot of times, what's the cost of what is the cost? 500, 600, depending on which plan. And they can call an HVAC contractor for $75 to $100. And it's probably going to be covered unless it's pre-existing. I would make sure that when I'm doing my presentation, that I'm not going to say to you, Brent, I wouldn't get that. That's a waste of money. I think those words should never come out of your mouth.
I think that was the perception for a long time too. The ones who
I agree.
But I think those have gotten better too.
I agree.
think coverage has been better, just dealing with different things. Last night I did I was at a listing and we talked about putting it on their home because, some of the systems are older and everything. And I'm like, this is good protection for you while you're listed.
Right.
Because, and then you can transfer it over to the buyer. So then you're a hero also, so their agent can say, hey, listen, this may not be totally updated, but look what the seller's providing for you,
Right. And you're not going to pay for it, right? You don't pay for it until it closes.
Right.
So that's a huge step.
It's huge. And that's why I wanted to bring this up again, because we talked a little bit about it at the all agents meeting. And I just don't think we talk about it enough. And we want to talk about it more because it really is good for you guys.
Right.
It puts you in the win column. And it's not that hard to talk to them about why it's good for them.
One other thing I was thinking about too is, and my clients do, is we utilize it for building inspections. If the building inspection comes back with a bad water heater, the seller then can utilize it to have it fixed, which is a good thing for them because then they're looking at it like, well, that's yes, now I can get it fixed for a lot less money and offer this
Sure.
to the buyer. So, it's a win-win.
I think that from a protection standpoint, not only for the company, but for our agents, is that you push for it. If they're not getting a building inspection, it should be automatically that they buy a home protection plan.
And it really should be top of mind that waive the inspection, but not the protection, because that's the
Yes.
only thing you have left if you have waived the inspection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this market really plays towards the home warranty. And it,
I have one little comment.
yeah,
From experience, I had advertised a listing with a home warranty, and the market was pretty good in this particular neighborhood. And the agent submitted the offer, and she didn't offer a home warranty because number one, they wanted to be competitive, and number two, she didn't write it in there. They didn't want it. And after we closed, her buyers found a lot of issues with the property, and they wanted to claim that one of the reasons they bought the house was because I was offering the warranty, which didn't come with it because she didn't include it in the contract. But the buyers wanted to sue me. In fact, that's one of the lawsuits that they had with me with Remax, is because it was advertised, but it wasn't in the contract. Of course, her agent was at fault because she didn't write it in the contract, but the people must have hounded me for 2 years over not getting this warranty that they thought they were going to get, that the agent didn't write in.
So they offered it on the MLS, right?
So here's, I'm gonna tell you something from a small claims person who's been there on that. So the judge ruled in favor of the buyer because the MLS remark said, and it's about words that the listing agent used, it said home warranty included. And so the judge said the intent was there. So I think, I agree with you, Everett, it has to do with your words. And if it were me and I'm the listing agent, don't get hung up on a technicality for $500 or $600.
We just had one that we actually the buyer said they didn't want it, they didn't write it into the contract because they wanted the seller to do the municipal inspections, which they originally weren't going to do. So that was kind of in lieu of, and then we waited till the end. And they said they still didn't want it, so we had them do an amendment, signing off on it, saying they didn't want it, because that way we
that's
kept
smart.
ourselves protected.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it could have ended up in the same thing ever,
And I'm gonna tell you, MLS has the disclosure at the bottom that says for informational purposes only, write it, you'll see, write it in the contract. But this home warranty is a little bit different because of Ben Clayton over, it's saying in the MLS that it was included. And that was what he hung his hat on, was your intent was to include it. And something else with home warranties, if you have a client that's purchasing a property and they're going to rent it out, and especially if they're an out-of-town owner, I would highly recommend that you get a home warranty. And you include in the lease that says that the tenant is going to call for anything that's wrong, and they're going to pay the deductible. So they're not gonna call you every little nickel and dime that,
Yeah.
the faucet's leaking a little bit.
I think we see a lot of water damage, right?
Yes.
When they don't do the home detection and stuff, and they turn the fridge off, or they, somehow it's.
And
always
some of
gonna show
those
up.
issues are under a homeowner's coverage, but I feel like the home warranty, if it were me and I was back out in the market listing and selling, I'd probably be the top agent in this company selling them. It just would be automatic.
From personal experience, since so many of my clients are direct referrals for either family, friends, or close acquaintances, I just throw in the home warranty. I just pay for it. It's just a house warranty. And the reason I do that is because as soon as something goes wrong, they're gonna call me. They're not gonna call the warranty people. I have to tell them to call the warranty people. Sometimes I sell my own listings. If I'm selling my own listings, then that's double protection. But it's not only that, it just gives the people a better feel for when they do have a problem with the house, they have something to fall back on instead of you. And the third thing is I bought a couple of houses myself and I took out the home warranty and I had to use the claim myself. So from personal experience, I know that you don't know what might come up and what your budget will be like, and having to buy a new refrigerator when you don't plan to, and just making a claim is a big plus to my budget. And if you've had that experience with owning a house, you can share that with someone else.
Yep. Okay, well, I think we're kind of all on the same page. I did find because we were talking about scoreboard stuff. Let's see if I can bring it up there. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys see 7 ideas to increase your business?
Yes.
Okay, so I pulled that up, I was just looking to see what it was, but I think this is good just to see, like, if I'm not sure about what I need to do, call at least 2 people in your sphere of influence every day. Good tip. Send 1 unsolicited CMA each day. Post on social media at least once a day. Add people to your database daily, just people you run into, whatever. Send a handwritten thank you note daily. Call 2 or more people on your next 10 list each day. Start your day off right. And we've talked about that. That just being starting it off with whatever routine you have in the morning. But yeah, I'll send that to you guys that are on here, because it's you don't have to do it all, but it's a guideline.
Like it.
Something to track, something to do. Let's see. And the other thing that I was running across that, don't forget about some of that Jared James stuff. Because I was looking at the niche farming, where you go and you look at people who've been there for 10+ years, and then you start sending them information that falls into that genre of information. That's a good technique. It's a good idea. There's other stuff in there, but I just ran across that, just thought, and don't forget about the 8 and 8. If you guys are looking to be in that area, be known in that area, be the agent for that area, 8 and 8's a good strategy. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I had a question for, actually Larry McNamara had the question. He wanted to know how willing Homestead Mortgage was in terms of being a partner with, advertising and social media and stuff like that. Do you know, anything about how Homestead is involved with our agents?
They're a preferred vendor, a preferred partner. They'll be involved as much as you want them to be involved.
They will.
Absolutely, Larry. Yeah.
The reason I asked that is I called Everett the other day, yesterday actually, and talked to him about what he was doing with USA Mortgage and his postcard business. And since we've moved, I've started walking the dogs and you know, I'll talk to anybody. So,
Sure.
you know, the route that I go with the dogs, I've talked to everybody a number of times. I'd like to start getting something in front of their face. But I don't know them well enough to say, hey, what's your email address? And so I thought that would be a good way to.
Hey, Larry, where are you? Obviously, you still live in the city, correct?
Pardon me?
Do you live in the city still?
Yeah, I'm in St. Louis Hills, right around Francis Park.
Is there any local eateries or restaurants around there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Ton of them.
so are you familiar maybe with some of the ownerships or anybody who owns the places?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I would suggest is set up something with Homestead where they do you go and talk to some of these restaurants owners and say, hey man, would you be okay if can you give me something of tangible item, like a discount, a 10% discount or a free appetizer? I learned this with Kay, and I'm telling you, I went literally to go eat at that restaurant over here at Post last week and I used it. Really cool. I would advise, say, hey, is it okay? Most of these restaurants, 9 times out of 10 will say absolutely, because you're driving people to their doors. And what you do is you have Homestead market your area with that said coupon, but then you have a couple of those flyers, maybe a dozen or 20 or 40 at your disposal. And you know, when you walk the dog, just take some with you in case you run into people. You just, hey, how you doing, Larry here? I know I just moved, but I've been in this neighborhood for so many years. I know that I'm a real estate agent. Hey, here you go. Get a free appetizer or give you 10% off your next meal at the local eatery here, you know, XYZ. No one would turn that down, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
That's great.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Got it, Larry. And guys, that goes for all of you guys. I mean, you can do that. All of you guys can do that in your neighborhood, man. Yeah. You know, find your local eateries. 9 times out of 10, they'll say no problem. What do you need from me?
That's free.
They're not spending any money on marketing. You have your partners doing that. Why not?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. So I should
The
talk to
direction
Russ
is,
about that.
will you do it? How will you do it? And when will you do it? Right?
I'll call Russ today.
Attaboy, that's what I wanted to hear. There you go, Larry.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. That'll work.
Neil's smiling.
I mean, Neil's in the bit of the restaurant business. Neil, if somebody came up to you in the restaurant business offering you free marketing, all you got to do is either give them a discount or a free appetizer or whatever, however you guys engage. Wouldn't that be of essence for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, for restaurateurs, people that own them, if they find a relationship like that, if they don't come out of pocket, it's a soft cost for them, and it gets people in the door and hope it makes them repeat customers. That's money in the bag for them.
Massa's restaurant.
Okay.
Hey, Lynn says she can probably reach out to Massa's if you guys want to get Massa. She's really good friends with the ownership group over there.
Okay.
So guys, there's plenty of opportunities and many ways to skin a cat. Again, the main objective is, will you do it? When will you do it? And what was the third one I said?
How will you do it?
And how will you do it? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Good question though, Larry.
Great question, Larry.
You know, the other thing I think is a good idea too is having some kind of logo shirts on every now and then when you're running around, because
For sure.
I think, that strikes up conversations a lot. People will see your Remax shirt and they'll be like, or even it's a t-shirt from an event we did or something like that, which strikes up a conversation,
Ask Sarah Bonnie about that. She is big time.
It is all the time.
All right, guys, great stuff. Appreciate you getting on. Anybody else have anything? No? All right, guys. Talk to you all later.
Thank you, Brent.
Good job, guys.
All right.
Let's
Thanks,
go. Make
everybody.
it your week.
Thank you, Brent.
Kill it.
Guys.